This is In the Know for Tuesday, October 18th, the 291st day of 2022. There are 74 days left in the year. Good morning, MB. Guiding you through In the Know at K105 on Litchfield's Country Station, 103.9 The Moose. Live online at K105.com via the Apple and Android smartphone app using the SoundCloud, iTunes, or Spotify podcast, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. How long is it going to be cold? We'll tell you. We'll also just kind of cover the latest news headlines, plus there's a movie reboot coming out that may cause some debate. That and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire, is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's Beach. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
Know how when, say, at Disney World, when we walk into Main Street, you can immediately smell popcorn and some of the scents of the confectionery, and they pipe those smells into Main Street.
Sure.
And then on Soarin', when they take you around the world, they have the citrus smell and the dirt smell. And, well, the future of virtual reality is now they will introduce smell to VR, so you have these cartridges in your home that when you do VR journeys on your headset, you go to certain parts of the world, it will have a recipe of smells that it will introduce. So my question is, will we eventually just vacation at home because the experience is almost like being there?
Negative.
No? We're still going to go?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Like you're saying we as in you and I,
Yes.
or society in general?
I don't know about anybody else,
Okay,
but we're still packing a bag.
All right, that's very good. So we're going to continue to see the real thing. That's very good. He is the 5-time winner of the coveted Ohio Newshawk Award. He's a 2-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Budapest, Rio, Tokyo, and even Litchfield. He's Sam Gormley and the Sparks. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Ralph.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Well, I've had my confidence in everything that I know suddenly rattled this morning.
Really?
Yes. Most of the things that I know about goldfish came from Ted Lasso. You know, Ted Lasso's infamous line, be a goldfish.
Absolutely.
But now there's contradictory evidence out there that goldfish may actually have longer memories than they're being given credit for. So we've long thought, oh, goldfish, they don't remember from 1 second to the next, like a 6 or 7 second memory, and then they think they're seeing things for the first time again, when researchers say that that's not true. And so
How do you, right?
Yeah. That's who's also what do you do for a living? I study goldfish.
I mean, really?
The cracker?
Well,
that's what I had to ask you this morning.
They're a marine biologist.
Yeah, but I mean, I just don't understand.
I had a friend in high school that wanted to be a marine biologist.
I wanted to.
And my assumption is that she did not have the idea that she wanted to study goldfish.
Exactly.
But goldfish are in the marine biology ecosystem, so you would
So
possibly
you're saying
need
if
to
I
study
if I
those.
go to the random pet store, that I can just ask to talk to their marine biologist
Just
before
saying. Are we going to see a future episode of Ted Lasso that deals with new revelation that indeed
No, I think I trust Ted Lasso.
Richmond does not need to indeed be a goldfish, and Richmond needs to be something else, like
No.
Dory.
I believe in Ted Lasso.
Because Dory's a different type of fish. Dory's not a goldfish, right? So maybe there are other fish that
She
have
has short-term memory loss.
Short
Yeah.
memory.
And I think your marine biologists study more of like salt water fish. I mean, I don't think they are
Hence-
doing like freshwater.
Sam, was your
Hence
friend
marine.
inspired to be a marine biologist by George Costanza by any chance?
I'm going to say no.
Okay, all right. If you were up early
I think
this
she's with
morning,
the EPA now.
If you were up early this morning, you experienced cool temperature, and depending upon where in the Commonwealth you were, you might have seen a snow flurry or two.
I think I saw
And-
like northern Washington County had like
Yes,
actual snowfall.
some Southern Indiana might have had like a quarter of an inch of snow.
Miss Debbie posted.
Enough to coat it. I know that she said there were some flurries out there, and the freeze warning has just expired in the last few minutes, but we'll rinse and repeat. It'll be the same thing over again tonight.
Bring me the weekend.
But we'll see breezy today, some gusts around 25 miles an hour. Our high temperature is only going to get to be about 51, but with that breeze, the wind chill is going to feel less than 51. Partly cloudy, 33 tonight, sunny, 56 tomorrow, but if you can just get to the weekend. Now, sunny Saturday looking even better at 78. Sunday looking at 80. So for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 78, 80, 80. Tuesday, 76. And we might finally get some precipitation in our region next Tuesday and Wednesday. There's about a 3 in 10 chance of that.
Looking at another great Cougar football weather too on Friday night.
Yeah,
St. Host Owensboro.
it'll be nice because those evening temperatures are going to be very pleasant as well. It's should be a nice weekend. And a reminder again, these windy conditions are problematic for our first responders in the form of firefighters that have to fight brush fires and other structure fires because we disregard what we want to do for what we should do. When things are this dry and this breezy, just don't burn anything when you have the winds like they are. And it may look not windy where you are at that particular moment, but that doesn't mean it won't be just a few minutes later. There are
really
multiple
windy
instances
yesterday,
of
yeah.
brush fires across, especially western Kentucky, where it's the driest. And so just keep that in mind. You don't want to be that knucklehead like me that starts a brush fire and trying to burn some garbage out behind the radio station. Now, in my defense, that was over 30 years ago. I learned my lesson.
I'm not sure I've heard that story.
I learned my lesson. I didn't make that mistake again. But I was just doing as I was told to burn the garbage.
Okay, now that I'm thinking about it again, I think I've heard this story before.
Yeah. Well, now we can't burn garbage because there's a propane tank there. So
Yeah, that probably would not be the best combination,
no,
especially on a windy day.
who do you think was responsible for putting that propane tank there? No more burning. You always wondered where the sidewalk to nowhere went,
No, I know it because the propane tank.
but the sidewalk's been there far longer than the propane tank.
Oh, really? Where did the
So-
sidewalk to nowhere go before then? To where you burn the garbage?
The incendiary
Oh.
pit. Yeah, it's the garbage, the burn pit.
Oh, interesting. Well, I know that the sidewalk doesn't go to nowhere because the propane tank.
Currently.
Correct. But
How
the propane
long
tank.
ago was this?
When?
When did the propane
Yeah.
tank get there?
Oh, 95, 96,
well,
So
I was-
90.
propane tank's older than I am.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then there's always that, Sam.
Yeah, absolutely. Of the headlines yesterday, I would fancy a guess that the one that occupied the most attention, not just locally, but I believe regionally and maybe and certainly across the Commonwealth, and maybe even this part of the country, is that the FBI returned to Nelson County yesterday to execute a search warrant involving Crystal Rogers' disappearance. They announced yesterday that they are once again searching the farm at 345 Pascal Ballard Lane in Bardstown. It is owned by the family of Brooks Houck, which is her boyfriend and father of her 2 children. He is believed to be the last person to see her alive. July 3, 2015, has been named a suspect, but he has never been charged. Now, we have been through these chapters the last few years. There was a period, I think earlier this year, there was a period in 2020 when the FBI took over the case in 2020. But there have been these periods where something...
The driveway, remember last time?
Yes. And they did say in the driveway, they found an item of interest, which makes me wonder if the item of interest led them back to this farm where they have had interest before.
Which, it's like 600 acres or something, didn't I read that?
It's large, and it's, about 10 miles south of Bardstown. But here's what I did observe yesterday, and maybe it's just my experience was different. But to this point, every time the FBI or law enforcement converges on Nelson County, everyone says, this is the day. Right? This is the day we're going to find the answers. Yesterday, I noticed there was a measured, cautious optimism that it was, well, let's hope we get some answers today, because it's that fool me once type of thing. There have been enough times where they've deployed into the area only to find out, well, it didn't turn up anything. So this search is going to take more than just yesterday. This is at least probably a 2 to 3 day thing that they're estimating. So I don't think that we're going to find answers in the next few hours. But let's just pray that they have finally zeroed in, that their diligence over the last 2 years at the federal level has produced enough data points that they're able to piece this together and finally give this family some peace.
Yeah, the mom. I mean, she's been vocal. I mean, and I give her props too, because she does every interview. I can't imagine how difficult it is for her.
Right.
Yeah, and then as soon as they can solve this, they can get to the Tommy Ballard case.
Well, then also you got like Jason Ellis there too, which
absolutely.
I saw that his memorial was vandalized too over the weekend.
I didn't see that, but it makes you wonder. I think that eventually you may find there's a thread among all of them somehow, because it's too conspicuous.
Well, anytime you drive to Bardstown, when you head to Bardstown, you pass where the Tommy Ballard incident happened, and then when you're coming back, you pass the sign where her car was.
That's right. So I am hoping that if they solve one, that gives them the leverage they need to hopefully leads them to the answers in the other cases as well. Now, close to home, a semi-truck flipped onto its top last evening on the Western Kentucky Parkway. Just before 8 o'clock, the Grayson County Sheriff's Office, Litchfield Fire, and EMS, Grayson County EMS, responded to single vehicle accident between the 103 and 104 mile markers on the parkway. A JPI Carrier's tractor trailer, which is carrying a 21-ton steel coil, had entered the median and traveled, a couple hundred yards before the trailer flipped onto its side and then onto the truck onto its top. So it came into a rest, partially blocking the inside lanes both directions. The driver, who suffered non-life-threatening injuries, said he was passing a vehicle when he got over too far and entered the median. So
it's wild. It's so rare you see a semi-truck in that, flipped over like that.
Yes. It also makes you wonder, a semi-truck that probably wasn't going all that fast, because they often don't, especially with a 21-ton load, what was going on in the small lane that he was passing. That's what could have been another truck. That's typically, you see trucks pass other trucks, but you don't see trucks pass passenger vehicles that much.
I also like to think, though, that it says the tons of it. I'd like to think Ken Hallett got out his scale and was measuring how many tons it was.
By the way, it says 42,000 pounds, and I just simplified that to 21 tons.
I just like to think that Ken Hallett got out there and measured it.
21 tons, what do you get? A state police trooper has seized a large amount of methamphetamine during a traffic stop on Lilac Road in Litchfield. This happened Saturday morning, about 1:30, a.k.a. late Friday night. Sergeant Blake Owens conducted a traffic stop at the 1000 block of Lilac Road on an 07 Chevy Silverado being driven by 45-year-old Tommy Humphrey of Vine Grove, listed in Breckinridge County, after observing the vehicle cross the center line multiple times in less than half a mile. Owens detected an odor of marijuana following a traffic stop coming from the vehicle. Humphrey also displayed extremely dilated pupils, according to the arrest citation. During a search of the vehicle, found a large quantity of methamphetamine split up into different bags, large quantity of marijuana, et cetera, et cetera. Guess what happened to him, Sam?
Lodged in Hotel 36.
How did you know that? It's
I always want to know what large amount is.
large does seem like a relative term,
Yes.
doesn't it?
I
It's
mean,
like-
what is large?
The latest COVID-19 numbers were released yesterday, 3,240 in the last week, which is down from 3,392 the previous week. 80 deaths last week, which is one less than last week. Currently 253 hospitalized, 28 ICU, 15 ventilator. The online grant portal is now open for opioid abatement submissions. AG Daniel Cameron announced yesterday the activation of the Kentucky Opioid Abatement Advisory Commission's online grant proposal portal and encourages organizations and individuals dedicated to fighting the opioid epidemic to upload a submission. What is this? Well, after the settlements with the opioid companies, where each state got millions of dollars as a we're sorry we made billions of dollars and ruined societies, here's some millions of dollars to try and make up for it. How does that money get spent? Well, communities that have been impacted or that have plans to try and invest these dollars into recovering from the scourge of the opioid epidemic can submit these plans to this portal and then hopefully qualify for some of these dollars. And this is the most likely way that the Attorney General knows to be able to divvy those up, is just to allow grant applications for people that have good ideas on how to spend the money. Seems practical to me. I guess otherwise you just hand it over to the General Assembly and then goes into the whatever fund or et cetera. So
I'll take some.
submit an application for a grant, Sam.
What can we grant for?
What? Just say, I promise not to do any opioids.
That is
Just give me.
That's good.
Give me
$5.
Just give me $50,000. I promise
I
not
was
to
just
do.
going to ask for 5.
Okay, well, bumping on up to 10. Attorney General
10.50.
Daniel Cameron's office has ruled the University of Kentucky violated the state's Open Records Act when it failed to respond to portions of a request for records involving the football program. On September 7th, 2022, Charlotte Flannery requested electronic copies of all emails and text messages exchanged between the head coach or associate head coach, so Stoops and Marrow, and of the university's football program, and 2 private individuals. That'll be Kelly and Joe Kraft, as well as any tweet, quote tweet, or retweet on the university's official Twitter account for the head coach or associate head coach that related to a specific person. The scope of the request included any communications, quote, sent on behalf of the individual's name. Why is the Attorney General's office involved? Well, because it was appealed. A complaint was filed because Charlotte Flannery didn't feel like the university responded in the proper way, because the university responded the way I understand it. The university said, you're going to have to define the scope in what you want into a timeline. Mm-hmm. And so here's where the optics of this bother me is the reason that Charlotte Flannery, and I don't know, Charlotte Flannery must be a political operative for someone. It's not apparent to me today.
And that's the fun part about this right now is it could be any, I mean, she could be a Daniel Cameron supporter. She could be a Ryan Quarles supporter.
That's right.
She could be an Andy Bashir supporter.
She could be a Republican. She could be a Democrat. She could just be a paid political operative.
She's just
could
not
be,
a fan of Kelly Craft.
That's it.
Maybe she's a Louisville fan.
Or she has been contracted by someone to make this request and look like she's anti-Kelly Craft. The answers to that I don't know.
I think she's a Tennessee fan. That's what it is.
But here's what I am with the school in that you can't just ask for everything forever, infinite, and then we spend the rest of our days coming up with all possible texts and tweets, etc. Because it's hard to just hand those over without handing everything over. So then you could paper somebody to death and go, well, you'll have to sort through all this to find what you want. It also, the reason that I am for the school's response today is because in this new digital realm, it's different. When you used to want an open records request, you submitted the request. They had 48 hours to respond, but then the burden was on you to make the reproductions. It could be $1 a page. It could be 50 cents a page. It could be, so there was an investment on the part of requester that helped at least defray some of the manpower cost in providing this information. Well, in this realm, you just ask for everything, but that's an unreasonable request. So what I do think is that it helps us get to the bottom of what is reasonable, what is a reasonable expectation, and what should entities do in order to fulfill these requests in an open records, under the Open Records Request Act. The only thing I don't like about it, and I do hope that it's correct, it says Attorney General Daniel Cameron's office has ruled. I do hope that he has taken the high road, and because he's conflicted, because
he recused himself,
that he allowed somebody in the office to handle it and was kind of hands off. I would admire that move much more.
But even then, it's politics. It's politics.
So, but maybe we'll eventually find out what's really going on here. Pikeville still number 1 in Class 1A, Mayfield at 1 in Class 2A, LCA, and 3A. That's Louisville Christian Academy. Lex Cath 4A, Frederick Douglass 5A, Louisville St. X 6A. Sam, the Lady Cougars volleyball season came to an end last night.
Oh, it was a phenomenal game, though. It went 5. Edmondson County won the first 2 sets. They were up 2-0. Grayson County came back, tied it up 2-2. So it goes into that dramatic 5th set. Edmondson County won the final set 15-9. But we were talking about it too beforehand. I was in between one of the sets. I looked down and looked across the gym and noticed a familiar face. It's not the greatest picture, but I was like, wait a second, I know that face.
She may be a future volleyballer right there.
But she was getting into it. I think they left a little bit early because it got started to get a little bit late, but it was a great game. Now we'll have the championship game as well tonight between Whitesville Trinity and Edmondson County. I know we had a lot of people watching last night, and I think people realized, last night that match was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. A lot of back and forth.
Good volleyball between two good even match teams. It's fun.
So you got Whitesville Trinity, Edmondson County, 12th District Championship, 6 o'clock, K105 Digital Productions. Tell your friends in Edco and in Whitesville to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you'll get that notification when it goes live, and we'll have that coverage for you, right?
Yes, I look forward to it. Should be a good match.
UK basketball, number 4 in the preseason AP poll. I'm fine with that. You fine with that?
It means absolutely nothing.
Just be number 1 in the postseason poll, and I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Got to get to a break. We'll come back with more here on In the Know.
Thinking about furthering your education? At Elizabethtown Community and Technical College, you'll get a high-quality education close to home at a cost that won't break the bank. Enjoy small class sizes with professors who take a personal interest in your success. Scholarships are still available, making our low tuition even more affordable. ECTC's Litchfield campus is now enrolling for classes that start October 17th. Call 270-259-1540 or visit elizabethtown.kctcs.edu to get started. ECTC, college for the real world.
Today, successful small businesses are lean, portable, and focused. If you're running your own business, you need to stay in tune to your customers, vendors, and employees. That doesn't leave much time for processing payroll and reporting, much less the overall performance of your business. The firm of Buckles, Travis, and Hart has a full offering of services for small businesses. Payroll processing, tax liability, unemployment, and financial reporting, just to name a few. Think of them like a built-in business manager, but they don't get sick and they don't ask for time off. Call or contact today to help get your business focused across the board. Buckles, Travis, and Hart, 270-259-5604, GraysonCPAs.com.
Mornings just got doubly delicious at McDonald's with 2 is always better than 1 deal. Right now, get a sausage McMuffin with egg or other breakfast faves. Buy 1, get 1 for $1. Get your choice of a sausage McMuffin with egg, sausage McMuffin, sausage biscuit, sausage McGriddles, or hash browns. Buy 1, get 1 for $1 only at McDonald's. Prices and participation may vary. Valid for product of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
I'm Dr. Isaac Miller. My dad taught me many lessons. I learned to appreciate hard work by watching him work his way up at Warren Rural Electric. He taught me to be honest and stand up for myself. He taught me the importance of family and service to our community. My dad will bring these values and so much more to the mayor's office. Vote for my dad, Harold Miller, to be the next mayor of Litchfield.
Paid for by Harold Miller.
There's no place like home.
At Beehive Homes of Litchfield, we know how to take good care of people, and it shows in the details. With our showcase kitchen, home-cooked meals, engaging social activities, and outstanding wellness care, Beehive Homes offers the next best place to home. It's more than just a lovely place to live. It's a warm, caring, vibrant community.
There's no place like home.
Beehive Homes of Litchfield. See our home today.
Cybersecurity experts are warning folks to be careful when using public wireless networks as more and more people work from home or outside the office.
If you're accessing private email accounts or you're doing the same sort of activity on behalf of the company that you work for, that data and that information can be stolen by what we refer to as malicious actors.
October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and Earl Foote with Nexus IT Consultants says it's best to use your own mobile hotspot if you're scrambling for internet options or a VPN connector that will encrypt data over public networks. He also suggests using separate devices for personal and work activities to limit significant security risks to yourself or to your company. And Apple is expected to unveil its new iPad Pro in the next few days. Bloomberg reports the newest model will feature the M2 chip, which is used in the current MacBook Air laptop. The upgrade will give the iPad a speed boost of 20%. It's the first iPad Pro upgrade in a year and a half. Tech Report.
I seen the bright lights of Memphis and the Commodore Hotel. And underneath the street lamp, I met a Southern belle. Oh, she took me to the river where she
Today is Alaska Day.
and in that
It is No Beard Day today.
she sang it song so well. If you be my Dixie chicken,
Little Feet.
I'll be your
You all don't know much about Little Feet, do you?
I only know Bigfoot.
Sam's way too young for Little Feet.
Dixieland.
Is that part of the dinosaur movie?
Wait,
the
is that
cartoon?
is Little Feet? Is that Land Before Time?
Thank you.
I know Land Before Time.
Yeah.
Is Little Feet from that?
No, I don't think so. Today is Chocolate
I
Cupcake
haven't seen
Day.
that in forever.
Little Feet?
Yeah.
F-E-A-T, not F-E-E-T.
Oh, well, never mind.
See, Land Before
Little
Time.
Feet is a blues band.
Taylor would have probably been a Land Before Time.
I know
Yeah.
Land Before Time, but I promise you, Little Feet, this musical act, did not appear.
Little
in
Foot
Land
is
Before
Land
Time.
Before Time. Okay. Ducky.
So you all completely missed out that it's Chocolate Cupcake Day today.
I heard you.
So,
Okay.
ba-da-da-da-da-da.
We just got distracted.
Yes.
I got it. I was reading some of our literature we have access to. There's a parenting site called Emma's Diary, and it has revealed its list of the most unpopular baby names, which you might imagine has caused quite a stir. I've noticed the few times over the years that I've had anything to say about particular names, I suddenly notice like I'm getting side eyes from people later, like, "Oh, really? Okay."
Well, I have some friends now that have had kids, and it's like, ooh, that's what you're naming it? Mm-hmm. Or
Well,
that's how you're spelling it?
This blog says we have put together a list of what some may think are the worst names you could call your baby. But remember, it goes on to say, if you love a name, then it doesn't matter what we think.
Yeah.
And according to Emma's Diary, among the worst names that you could possibly give your youngster are Cletus,
Oh, yeah.
Danger,
Well,
I
some kids may live up to that,
I know somebody that has
Here
the
comes
name
danger.
I'm trying to remember.
right?
Oh. It would be great, though, if their last name was Danger and their first name was Stranger. Stranger Danger.
Or their last name was Ranger. Ranger.
Danger Ranger.
L'Oreal. I like this one. I think this is a real example. L'Oreal Boomqueefa. I'm liking that one. L'Oreal Boomqueefa.
You just like Boom Queefa.
Yes, I do. I love that.
It's going to be your first granddaughter.
Elizabeth.
Boomqueefa Buckles.
Oh,
That'd be Boomqueefa Beal.
oh yeah.
Oh, good point. That even rolls off the tongue.
That's
even better.
right. Boomqueefa Beal. There you go.
That's a good basketball name, too.
So, by the way, speaking of Taylor and names, I'll tell this because still to this day, when I see him, I'll mention it. And if they ever encounter one another, he mentions it. But when Taylor was little, Wallace Anderson would just torment her to death by insisting that her name was Wilhelmina Wilhelm. And she could not stand it. My name is not Wilhelmina Wilhelm, and she'd just retort what her name really was. Of course, that just delighted Wallace to no end. And so that reaction was worth it in itself. So I just never forget, I always comment about Wilhelmina Wilhelm. So
Maybe that'll be her first daughter.
maybe Wilhelmina Boomqueefa Beale.
Oh my goodness.
Elizabeth.
You're going to get a text message.
Pretty soon. Elizabeth and then Spartacus.
Elizabeth?
Breath, yeah. Elizabeth, not Elizabeth. They did point out that the list is meant to be a bit of a lighthearted fun and no offenses intended. It continued to name shame people based on blessed with monikers such as Apple, Appaloosa, Arabella, Jedi, Champ, Chardonnay, and Vajonica. Not Veronica, Vajonica. Other names to avoid: Chandler, Justin, Jack, Sonny, Tracy, and Lana. That's according to them. That's not according to me. And then, of course, one person says, my baby boy Spartacus was not a bad name, thank you. And another one felt the need to point out that Lucifer is a beautiful name, but the rest not so much. Okay.
If it makes you happy, then it makes you happy.
Yeah, but please remember, your children eventually will go to school. Or
my
maybe,
biggest thing is
maybe you're going to homeschool them.
Spell it the right,
But they're eventually going to grow up and have to tell people what their name is.
Yeah, don't spell Mark with 2 Ks.
That drives him crazy. The odd spellings.
Just spell it right.
Yeah, but
I'll run into that too in basketball season. That I'll have a first name and I'll be like, "What is that?" And it'll be like Mark with 2 Ks. I'm like, "Is that Markica?"
Markica.
And it's like, "No, that's just Mark." I'm like, "Well, then just spell it with 1 K."
What's your name?
It's like the Key and Peele East West Bowl.
Ron. Here are 40 hauntingly beautiful Halloween names that are perfect for your October baby. But what interested me about this, some of these names, I go, so that's a Halloween name. 1, Annabelle. 2, Asteria. 3, Billy. That's apparently a Hocus Pocus thing.
It is.
I was going to say that's a her.
Binx. Binx. That's a Hocus Pocus thing, too,
It is.
apparently. Blair. Bladen. Buffy. Casper. Carrie or Kerrigan, Cullen, Damien, Dexter, Elena, Freddie, Gage, Jillian, or I guess Gillian, Griffin, Harlow, Jet, Lavender. Is that from Practical Magic?
I don't think so.
Luna, Marnie, Matilda, Mavis, October, Poe, Raven, Reagan, Remus, Rosemary, Rune, Sally, Sabrina, Salem, Samara.
Oh.
I thought, what are the origins of that? And so this says, Samara is a beautiful name for sure, of Hebrew origin. It means under God's rule or companion in night conversation. Oh, I can't wait to see you, Representative Heverin. Are you a companion in night conversation? That's what I'm going to ask her.
It's just going to be your first question to her.
That's exactly it. Hard-hitting questions first. Are you a companion in night conversation? Silas Suki. That's from something in True Blood, HBO vampire series True Blood.
Sure.
I think of Suki from Gilmore Girls.
Huh. Victor, Wednesday Adams, and Zelda.
Isn't Wednesday a character in Stranger Things? Or am I making that up?
Wednesday.
You would know.
Adam's Family, and then
Adam's Family. That's what it is.
Yes.
That's what I'm thinking.
Harry Potter actor Rupert Grint chose this for his daughter. Rupert Grint chose.
Okay. I'm not sure I knew that. Ron Weasley.
So Melissa McCarthy is in Gilmore Girls. That's the reference that you made to Suki.
The new study says that millennials and Gen Z are to spend the most on Halloween this year.
Nope.
Yes, because they're the last to grow up. So millennials will spend less than Gen Zers, and Gen Zers will spend...
I'm not sure I'll spend $1.
It didn't say all of them, but categorically, Sam, your generation will spend the most.
I was going to say, I don't think I'll spend a single dollar on Halloween.
Will you have your porch light off?
Well, considering, I'm going to be honest, considering that the Cincinnati Bengals kick off at 7 o'clock on Halloween night.
Oh, they play Monday night that night?
The Halloween night. So, no, my porch light will not be on because I'm sorry if somebody comes knocking on the door. If anything, I'll leave the bowl of candy out, but I've never had anybody come to my house anyways for Halloween candy. Mm-hmm.
More than, well, they're all up the street at City Hall.
That's true.
Candyland, more than 160 million Americans will buy candy for Halloween this year, and there's a good chance you'll purchase Skittles. The most popular candy is Skittles, followed by Reese's, and then M&M's. Skittles?
Actually, Matt Jones talked about this on air. It was one of his trivia questions that he had last week, and he mentioned that, and they were trying to guess because it's the top 5. And I mean, I mean, Skittles is never the one that I pick. But I mean, you could eat worse.
If you said, want some candy? Sure. What do you have? Skittles? And be like, okay, I'll take Skittles. But if you take me to the candy store, I'm not walking out with Skittles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not heartbroken if you end up with it, but it's not the first choice.
Sure. And then even then, I'll probably pick and choose the colors. Like, yeah, you can have the lime ones.
You got to get the sour Skittles.
You can have the lime ones. I don't really. So, I've been swimming around in Reddit's Am I the Butthead forum again. I have found that...
You enjoy that forum.
Well, one, I find that it actually does a decent job of representing multiple points of view without devolving into fighting. And
I like it because that's one
enjoy
thing with
that.
Reddit is that it's anonymous, but it's not anonymous.
Right. Yeah. And so I just find that they have the ability to drill down on these societal issues that are completely unimportant and totally important all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so does it have to do with world peace and inflation and that? No, it doesn't. But it does maybe help give us some idea on how we should behave when out amongst them. Airline passengers weigh in on the age-old to recline or not to recline conundrum.
Mm-hmm.
People can exhibit really, really bad behavior on a flight. But I will tell you that reclining seats, I don't think is one of them. But there are people that want to debate. Like, if the person in front of you reclines your seat, you suddenly are more likely to think you shouldn't recline your seat.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're the one reclining your seat, then you think, I'm at liberty to recline.
Well, I mean, you got to think, if I'm sitting behind you, I'm going to be a little upset because there's already not enough leg room. And if you take away more of my leg room, I've got long legs. It's going to make it a miserable experience for me.
For years, people have weighed in on whether they or other passengers should fully recline. I think fully recline is an overstatement.
There's like
get like 2 inches.
There's like a percentage, and you can like 25%, just a little bit, but you don't need to be laying in the next person's lap.
Well, I'm not sure I've been on an aircraft in a while that allows you to do that. It seems
still,
like they're restricting the range of
As they
reclination.
As they should.
Does it matter? Is there the flight distance or the time of the flight?
Mm-hmm.
Do we start to then relax the rules if we do or don't?
If it's a short flight, there's no need for you to recline your seat.
So here's where here's kind of I've almost changed my thinking on this a little bit. Is that I have always flown with the expectation, or at least the knowledge, that the seats recline.
Mm-hmm.
I know when I board an aircraft, there's a chance that someone may recline a seat and the person may be in front of me. I've always known that, but I fly anyway and go, well, that's the chance I take. But what I have learned, what I have observed about self is I don't know the last time that I reclined my own seat.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of it, too, is you want to look behind you. I mean, if I look behind me and Alea is sitting behind me, I'm going to not feel as bad because she doesn't need any room.
Right.
But if I look behind me and see me sitting back there, then I'm going to be like, well, he's got fairly long legs, or you.
Yeah.
That's part of it as well.
But I don't get super mad when a person, like, when I see it, it's like, oh gosh, because I'm bigger, I need the extra room in front. And so, but I'm not so mad that I go to poking on the seat when somebody, because the seat reclines. If the seats weren't supposed to be reclined, they would take the reclining ability away from them. But I've just noticed about self, I've kind of stopped reclining mine. Now, the last time I was on a super long flight, that wasn't an issue. If I were flying, 10 hours somewhere in coach, then I might go, ugh, I need this extra inch or so to recline. But then I read someone say that on some flights that once the food is served, everyone is instructed to put their seats upright anyway. No, they're not.
I've never had that.
They don't make you put
I've
your seats
never
back
heard
up
that.
until 10,000 feet, like when they do their initial, all right, close your trays and all that. So I don't know. That person's...
I'm more likely to recline mine if I have a kicker behind me.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you're annoying me, so I'm going to annoy you.
Seat kickers. Whoa.
I can't even. Like, I don't know how many dirty looks I give. Through that little bitty crack, right?
Yeah, you turn around and...
Like, I'm trying to mean mug through the crack.
Through the keyhole. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe we just take the reclining ability out of all the seats and be finished with it. I don't know. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. Got more on the way. Hang around here on In the Know.
Owensboro Health Twin Lakes Medical Center is growing. We have 5 physicians new to our community that are excited to meet you. Come to our open house on October 20th from 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. Meet our doctors, participate in free health screenings, and enjoy food and door prizes. At Owensboro Health Twin Lakes Medical Center, we want to keep you healthy. We want to make you proud.
Sports is about overcoming obstacles. This is Ernie Johnson Jr., and those are the stories I love to tell in the broadcast booth. But the courage of college athletes is more than matched by another group of young men, the boys fighting Duchenne muscular dystrophy. It's the most prolific genetic killer diagnosed in childhood, and there's no cure. But college football coaches are doing something about it, and you can help. It's called Coach to Cure MD. Text the word CURE to 501-501 to donate $25 on your next mobile phone bill, or go online at CoachToCureMD.org. Text the word CURE to 501-501 today. Help college football coaches cure MD. You'll be proud you did.
Brought to you by the American Football Coaches Association.
Your annual homecoming tailgate party was a rousing success. You caught up with your weird cousin Phil. You and your buddy Dave were crowned cornhole champions. Your famous potato salad drew rave reviews. The home team even won. But the best part was what didn't happen. You didn't drive home buzzed. You got a ride home from your cousin Phil, who may be weird, but also definitely sober. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid with funds through the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety.
Becco's new line of dishwashers feature Corner Intense, the first sprayer that cleans all the way to the corners. Becco achieves this performance using 50% less water and 25% less energy than U.S. standards for dishwashers, which is why when you choose Becco, you not only get cleaner dishes, but you're making the planet cleaner too. Save energy and money with gift card rebates up to $200 on eligible models until December 31st. Visit Becco.com for more details. That's BEKO.com.
K105 Weather is brought to you by Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield.
Well, after the morning excitement with some of those snow showers, they're over with now. Now it's just the battle of the sun and clouds for the afternoon as cold weather continues to flow in from Canada. High today in the upper 40s to lower 50s, but it will feel more like the 30s all afternoon long. Tonight, upper 20s and lower 30s for lows. Tomorrow, mid-50s with more sunshine expected. From the Wave Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Brian Good.
Did you know? I guess I should kind of rephrase that. I know you know this if you consider it, but did you realize a trip around a baseball diamond is 20 yards longer than a goal-to-goal line run on a football field?
90 feet to 270 feet.
Yeah, you got 360 feet around the diamond. Then you got 300 feet.
Good point.
You got 300 feet from goal line to goal line.
That makes sense. Yep.
And so, but in your mind, you think, well, from one end zone to the other is further than around the ball diamond, but that's not true. You got 90, 90, 90, 90, and it's thought it was like interesting.
Yeah, I guess when you think about it, it makes sense.
You know, when they go into their home run trot, though, and you think, well, that's really quick around the bases, but they could trot from goal line to goal line and be about the same thing.
I always loved there. I think there was a metric that they had on who has the fastest home run trot and who has the slowest home run trot. I always enjoyed reading those.
I had a slow home run trot.
Did you ever get to do your trot?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
At Caneyville Ballpark?
No,
Or
I never hit a home run at Crawdad Stadium. I did hit a home run at Litchfield.
Oh.
In Little League. Mm-hmm. Sure did.
Do we have video?
Yes, it's on the shelf right next to the crash of the Hindenburg. It's in the same level of archival footage.
Historically.
Yeah. And I think the commentary is similar. Oh, the humanity.
Oh my goodness.
I'll YouTube it after the show. And
okay, so Christmas is either made or ruined today. HBO Max has dropped the first footage of Peter Billingsley in his return as Ralphie in the upcoming A Christmas Story Christmas, the sequel to the classic holiday pick A Christmas Story. The brief teaser trailer opens with a panoramic look at the Parkers' living room, which is an exact replica of the way it appeared in the 1983 movie, and ends with Ralphie as an adult slipping on his signature plastic-rimmed glasses. The film follows an adult Ralphie in the 1970s who returns to the house on Cleveland Street to deliver his kids a magical Christmas like the one he had growing up. With the same attention to real-life tone of the first, Ralphie reconnects with childhood friends, reconciles the passing of his old man, and sows the seeds for the origins of the beloved holiday classic. It will premiere on HBO Max November 17.
I will watch it.
I will watch it as well.
I will not.
I don't know how I feel about it.
But I'm bracing myself.
It could have. I mean, there's a chance it's been done well.
Like I've said, though, and I have to whisper when I say this, I don't like the first one.
Well,
listen, I'm going to take you out back.
You're too young to like the first one.
It's very overrated.
No, it is not.
Elf is so much better.
It is. And that's just a generational difference. That's just
every time my parents every year watch, multiple times. And
exactly.
The more I watch it, the more I'm like,
Father knows best.
I'm like, it is just not my favorite by any means.
There should be no reason for you to like it.
I mean, I'd probably watch that over A Miracle on 34th Street. Or, no, what's the other? Or, no, that one's good.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Thank you. That's the one.
So it's obvious that this movie plays a big role in my family, plays a big role in our home because we have a common love of the movie. It was one of the first things we learned that we had in common is about it. And
Do you have a leg lamp?
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. My parents have a leg lamp. We have a leg lamp.
I've had a leg lamp for years.
If something happened to our leg lamp, we'd have another.
Yes. I have the Village.
Yeah. So.
And it's huge.
You would have not convinced me that Top Gun Maverick would have been good.
And it was, right?
It was very good. And so, but I'm still braced. Like I also know that she and I went to see A Christmas Story, the musical, at the Kentucky Center a few years ago, and we left at intermission.
Yeah. It was
so
not good.
Well, I know, talking about in your realm, I've heard a lot of people be very disappointed in Hocus Pocus 2. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
I have.
I've heard a lot of people disappointed, and I'm not sure if you are as well, because I've heard some people that really liked it, and then I've heard some people who just said that it really didn't live up to expectations.
I think it depends on your age. For me, I can appreciate what they tried to do with the characters.
But I think this is kind of in that same. I know that people, but as far as Hocus Pocus is to Halloween, in a way, what Christmas Story is to Christmas, for people of certain age groups.
Well, let me ask you this because I don't know the answer, Miss Buckles. What would be the leg lamp equivalent from Hocus Pocus? Is there anything from Hocus Pocus people could put in their window that would be equivalent of the leg lamp?
You could the spell book, you would have to, you know.
I see everybody has. I've seen a lot of the signs. I think even my neighbor has a sign that says, "What is it? I smell children," or what is the?
I smell children. Yeah, that's a. I mean, there are several things. I mean, but as far as one key item, I would go with the spell book.
I would just say this. Peter Billingsley knows the pressure that he is under to try and pull this off. And he's the only one, probably, that can pull it off. It made his career.
Yes.
He's been in other things that I enjoy. He's in Elf, and I love the fact that he's in Elf.
Who is he?
He's Lum Lum. He's the one that goes through when he's making the Etch-a-Sketches and Buddy gets behind. Those blue eyes with the round glasses, you can you can look at him.
I'm not sure that I ever really processed.
Yeah, he's the gate agent in Four Christmases. He's so he has done great things, and if you think about it, he's been in some really popular Christmas movies, not just A Christmas Story. So I think that he will get it right. But for me, I'm still the person who, either because I'm in denial or I've just decided I don't want to, I've not watched Coming to America.
Mm-hmm. What's hilarious is I watched it before you did.
That's
I
right.
mean, and I'd never seen the first one.
So it's just making me wonder, all right, well, am I going to watch it? And the answer is yes, I'm going to watch it.
How long will it take you?
I'll watch it November 17th.
Okay, so you will watch it.
Yeah, I'd say we'll watch it
So that's a Thursday.
Or I guess there's a chance we might wait until Thanksgiving weekend and watch it, just because we kind of delay the arrival of Christmas until then.
Or will you wait and hear what people are saying about it, so if people say they don't like it?
That's my fear. I really don't want to hear anybody else say anything about it, which is why I may kind of
just
go
bite the
November
bullet and go
17th.
for it.
Yeah, it's hard to know. Luckily, I can do it at home. We got to get to a break. We'll come back, finish it up for the morning here on In the Know.
The 2022 Little League World Series baseball tournament made headlines because of an unfortunate controversy between Oregon and Washington. They were tied 2-2 in the bottom of the last inning. Washington was up to bat with a runner on first and a chance to win the game. The controversy erupted when Washington's next batter hit the ball down the third baseline into foul territory. The third base umpire immediately signaled a foul ball. At the same time, the home plate umpire signaled a fair ball. The Oregon players thought the play was dead and didn't field the ball. The Washington runner believed the play was still alive, so he rounded the bases and scored. The game was eventually decided by the home plate umpire, who watched a replay and ruled the hit a fair ball. The run counted, and Washington won the game. Needless to say, many people believe that something more than the ball had gone foul in that game. Fairness itself had taken a hit. But unfairness is precisely why good character is so important for our children to develop. Unfairness is a sad reality of life. For all of us, we lose when we shouldn't have. We study, practice, and do the right things, yet struggle anyway. Successful living isn't the result of life bouncing exactly the way we think it ought to, but having the character to do what's right, even when it doesn't. To help your children thrive, visit FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
Hello?
Hey, stranger.
Oh, hi. Thank goodness it's you. I was afraid to answer the phone.
Why? What's up?
The credit card companies are after me. They want me to make payments, and the calls never stop.
Ouch. Been there before, but I got help from Trinity Debt Management.
Trinity?
Yeah, I called, and right away, Trinity contacted my creditors and got my interest rates cut in half. They ended all the late fees and over-limit charges, and they stopped those annoying phone calls.
Bet that was a relief.
Yep. Then they put me on a plan that consolidated my bills into one easy monthly payment. That way, I paid off my debt fast while saving thousands.
Nice.
Trinity even showed me how to plan and meet a monthly budget. So now I'm debt-free for keeps.
Wow. Do you still have their number?
Sure. Here, write this down and call 1-800-990-6976.
Can you repeat that?
1-800-990-6976. That's 1-800-990-6976.
MB's Point to Ponder for today. Sam, if I respond to a text message from you with a thumbs up or thumbs down, do you perceive me to be rude or hostile?
No. I mean, depending on what the message I send is. If it's a simple yes or no question, then it's fine.
Okay.
It just kind of depends on the message.
All right.
Why? Is this something with Gen Zs?
Yes. More and more. It says people who are, and you've just aged out of what they say here, but it says 9 to 24-year-olds recently caused a stir by calling out the thumbs up emoji for being rude and hostile, and even going so far as to say they feel attacked when they see it used in the workplace.
Yeah, I mean, there's some. I don't know if attack's the right word, but there are some times where, like, if I send a longer message and you just send a thumbs up, that to me, in some instances, could mean like your question isn't as important.
Well, yeah,
but if I'm asking like, did you see my email?
Thumbs up, right?
Okay, that's good. Or did you?
Sometimes I use that when I am in a position where I cannot respond to a lengthy one, and maybe I don't have my read receipt on. You know what I mean? Like to acknowledge that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I've read it.
See, in some instances, I'd rather get the thumbs up than just the read receipt.
Well, that's what I was about to ask you. So your options with me could be thumbs up, thumbs down, like yes or no, or I always have my read receipt on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so I can just let you suffer. Yeah. I saw it. But I am not, I understand this sounds like a completely selfish statement, and it's not that everyone else in my orbit or people that I know, right, that I'm kind of bumping up against in the world, not that you don't have a lot of things to process. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying, given the choice between acknowledging and giving something, the number of things that pass my eyeballs a day from various sources, personal, professional, just being involved in, whatever organizations I'm in, I sometimes just don't have the liberty to say, and I might be driving, and so I hate it that young people feel like someone like me would be thinking, well, they don't really care about what it is that I have to say if I'm just getting a thumbs up or an okay or a like.
Well, I know, like, I've had conversations with like our high school crew that works under me that we have like a group chat, and there have been instances where I've sent messages to them, and it could be just something basic like changing a report time, changing this, changing that, and they just won't respond. And I've said, listen, I want like
a confirmation that you.
I said, honestly, I wouldn't care if you send me, the poop emoji. Like that at least says I've seen it. I don't care.
I've
like just tell me something. I've seen it. React to the message. I don't care what it is. Just that says I've seen your message and I've taken it.
Here's the other thing I would offer 9 to 24-year-olds. If you force me that I can't just use thumbs up and thumbs down, then I'm just going to start scrolling through at random and finding emojis and throwing them in there and then saying, figure that one out.
Yeah, don't do that.
So that's the other end. Like, if we can't do it my way and you're going to insist that I branch out into other emojis, well, you may spend days trying to decipher the one that you get. Fireman? What does fireman mean? I don't know. Fireman holding up arms. Like, I don't know. Sorry.
I can see certain people that you would converse with and just.
Yankees play at 3:06 this afternoon. That's Central Time on TBS. Then Phillies at Padres in Game 1 of the NLCS tonight. What's that on? That's on TBS as well, isn't it? Is it a late game on TBS?
Sure.
Probably.
That I don't know. In fact,
the
I can
Voice,
look while we look.
the league, the LCSs may be moving networks. I don't know for sure.
Well, while we talk, and then we also have the 12th District Championship on K105 Digital Productions. That game is on FS1. Is the Phillies game.
We got Whitesville and Edmonson County at Grayson County.
Yes, 6 o'clock tonight on K105 Digital Productions. Subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Deadliest Catch on Discovery Channel and on CBS FBI.
Is that the one with the guy from Bones?
Dylan McDermott
maybe
is
I'm not
in it, I noticed. Today's highlight in history this day, I think it's Dylan McDermott.
Sure.
Yeah, the guy who was in the campaign. He was the campaign manager in campaign. The guy that gave
Oh,
Marty
yeah,
Huggins
yeah.
the glow up.
Yep. Okay.
And he's not in Bones.
Okay. I might be thinking of somebody else.
Today's highlight in history. This day in 1867, the United States took formal possession of Alaska from Russia. We got Sarah Palin in the deal, too. In 1898, the American flag was raised in Puerto Rico shortly before Spain formally relinquished control of the island to the U.S. Let's go on to birthdays. Mike Ditka is 83. Joe Morton is 75. Pam Dauber is 72. Chuck Lorre is 70. Martina Navratilova is 66. Jean-Claude Van Damme is 62. Neo is 43. Lindsey Vonn is 38. Bristol Palin is 32 today.
I was thinking of SEAL Team. So FBI SEAL Team.
Oh,
was
yeah.
the one I was thinking of. The guy from Bones, yeah.
But Borno?
Yeah, David Boreanaz.
I love him in Bones.
I watch SEAL Team, but since they moved it only to Paramount Plus, I don't watch it as much. Got to make 2 extra clicks to get to it. You know, it's hard.
Hard for you to.
Chuck Berry, born in 1926. Keith Jackson, born in the state in 1928. Whoa, Nelly. Don Wells in 1938. From Gilligan's Island. Played Mary Ann. Black Denim Trousers by the Cheers, number 1 in 1955.
And he never combed his hair. He had axle grease embedded underneath his fingernails. On the muscle.
I really thought they were going with underwear there. I mean, and combed his hair. They missed a golden opportunity to throw in underwear.
You need to find somebody to make that intro, make that their intro music. It's got good movement to it.
Martha and the Vandellas, Dancing in the Street, number 1 at 64. Do you have any nominees?
I don't know.
Think
I
of
felt
somebody.
like because it's got kind of the, what was it, grease under the fingernails? So I'm thinking of
It's called,
like.
Do you know who would wear
mechanics?
black denim trousers?
No.
Stevie Wonder, Higher Ground, number 1 in 73.
Well, I reckon that. I mean, that's just sometimes an intro song to this show.
Jack and Diane, number 1 in 82 from John Cougar. Don't let it rock, don't let it roll. Come together and save my soul.
This song kills me.
Let it roll. Let the Bible Belt come and save my soul. Hold on to 16.
Yeah.
Let's go to Karen White, Romantic, number 1 in 91. Come On Over, Christina Aguilera, 2000. Down, Jay Sean, Lil Wayne, 13 years ago today. I know that song. Maroon 5 and Cardi B, Girls Like You, number 1, 4 years ago today. EMB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Fortune and love favor the brave. Fortune and love favor the brave. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Sam Gormley, for B, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powering through the Twin Lakes with the best mix of music, news, weather, and fun. If it's in the Twin Lakes,